Hey everybody, welcome to the Meeple Mentor YouTube channel. I'm Jared, and I'm excited today to do a Kickstarter special preview unboxing for the Top Shelf Gamer series of new treasure bundles, right? So they do a lot of upgraded tokens that can be used in an assortment of board games from, any kind of Euro to Ameritrash, like anything. And so they've decided to start a Kickstarter where they've got 4 unique boxes that are really high quality that look kind of like a boxed book, right? And each one is unique. They're labeled 1 to 4, and they have unique type of items in there that you can just pull off the shelf for different games that you want to play. So I wanted to look through these together on camera with you guys and see the quality of these components and what comes in each box. So up first, right here it says second edition treasure chest. So as you can see, this is book number 1 from Top Shelf Gamer, and on the sides, it just looks like a locked book that you would put on your shelf. It's really nice, good quality, and you can hear the tokens inside. So we've got 6 compartments, plastic compartments that hold the different types of resources. And again, this is the treasure chest. So these are goods that, anything to do with treasure, right? So here we've got, these are actually metal, metal type of stones and pieces and whatnot. As you can see here, these are really nice quality. They kind of have this painted look on them with like divots and just a lot of texture. They are kind of smooth, but they do kind of have that metal clinking sound as you hold them in your hand. They've got some good weight. Over here, we've got what could be a substitute for like gold pieces in your game. And again, these are also really weighted, really shiny, kind of trapezoidal bars that, are for gold. Metal as well. They have that nice sound to them, as you can see. I've used these actually before in a lot of games like Tzolk'in or Teotihuacan, where there's a lot of gold. Those are cool. These right next to it, we see the wood, which are just fantastic paintwork going on these things. And I can't tell if it's like a metal or just a really thick plastic. But if you can see, they've even got like painted concentric rings in the center of these logs. And each one has that little piece jutting out, which is really cool. These are really nice. Also pretty hefty as far as the weight. They feel good. All of these, of course, would be better in your game instead of using just kind of your typical wooden colored cubes. So here we've got, what you could probably use for coal. These do feel like kind of a plastic instead of metal, so they're not as weighted, but they are just kind of a solid black color with kind of unique type of patterns and shape to them. So it's not like a standard type cut feel of a piece. It's really neat. Over here, we've got some more type of stone or boulder or rock or what have you. These also very similar to the coal as far as the weight and the feel. They do have a flat side to them, so they're not completely round. So I don't think they're going to easily roll off the table because they do have that flat side. So they can sit pretty well without getting all over the place. And then lastly in this box, we've got this compartment of tokens, which is, of course, brick. And they've got these, some of them, well, maybe all of them, they've got these 3 holes in them that is just like, the bricks that you would pick up and put into in a house. So these also very weighty, kind of got that nice paint job on there. Also very textured, a lot of really nice looking pieces here. They feel good, not as heavy as say the gold or those like heavy stone here, but very nice, very good quality. I could say this would be great for games like Architects of the West Kingdom, where they've got brick resource, anything with brick. That's everything that comes in the treasure chest, which is the first of 4 boxes. So moving right along, I'm going to set this aside. The next one, Harvest Handbook. Again, on the side, it's book number 2 or volume 2. It's got that nice book type of facade here on the side. Really cool. Open it right up. So we've got 6 more types of tokens. Over here, we've got like the corn that are really cool. They're like corn with the, like on the stalk with the green leaves coming around these. These are painted. They feel, I can't really tell. They kind of feel like metal, but they're not that heavy. They have some weight, but they're not too heavy. Maybe just the design of these. I've used these before in Zulkin, which uses a lot of corn resource. Over here, these are loaves of bread, and these have a nice kind of baguette style. There's a flat side of the bread and the rounded tops that you can see have this painted pink type color in there, so you can kind of see where it's been baked and kind of cut into, so you can cut that piece. Very cool. I think I've used that with Clans of Caledonia. This one I think is the most common one people have seen before. I think it's been used in a lot of type of games, like bags of grain, right? I know Scythe, a lot of people like using this with Scythe. But any kind of like bag of grain that you want to use that's kind of got this painted orange and yellow going on in that in this token. But it's a nice looking bag. It's got kind of like a seam running down the side. These are, fairly hefty, pretty good weight. And I'm not going to exactly count out every single like one of these, because I'm sure there's going to be, it'll tell you like how many pieces are of each one. But I do want to look at everything at least. So here we've got meat or steak type tokens. I believe I've used these before with Stone Age. Anything with food as a resource, or specifically meat, these work really well. And also pretty thick cut steaks, right? Pretty cool. Over here, these are bundles of wheat. So of course you could have like grains here or whatever goods, and then this could actually be like your cut stalks of wheat. This I have used with Clans of Caledonia. It's a really nice set. These feel nice. I like just the detail of all the different stalks that you can see in this thing, including the actual rope that appears to have bound them. It's got like a ribbon that has been tied for each bundle. But these are nice, and they do have a flat bottom, so you could technically stand them up, which is nice. And lastly, in this box, in the Harvest Handbook, are pumpkins. So check these out. These are pretty cool. They're a little small, but very nicely done paint job here. There's like the green stems at the top, and then kind of the looks like more of a black outline for the different cut sides of these pumpkins. And these I've used before with Charterstone, and you could do it for fruit, any kind of food or anything that has pumpkins specifically. But it is pretty cool, and they just look nice. So that is what's in the Harvest Handbook. Moving on to the Elemental Essentials. So here on the side, Volume 3, Top Shelf Gamer. Once again, it's got that look. And this is going to have stuff that's going to be more for those fantasy and like magic and stuff like that. So over here, we've got a set of both blue and red like tokens that could be, pretty flexible. They could be like wound markers. They could be water droplets, water for like Anachrony, wounds for any number of games, Fury of Dracula. We've used it for Nemesis before. But these are really nice. They kind of have this like bubble effect inside them that makes them look kind of like a marble almost. But these are plastic, but they have a bottom like a flat base, so these will stand up if you want them to, which is also really cool. The fact that it comes in both blue and red, I think there's a nice assortment of things you could use these for. Over next to it is fire, and these are kind of a orange plastic solid piece here. Again, it's got a flat base that'll stand right up and it'll look like flames on the table, on the board. It's got a nice texture on the side to try to look, get those flames going on with each piece. These are cool. We have used this with Nemesis. If you've played that, that's one where fire can spread. You could probably do it with Flashpoint or any kind of game that has fire in it. But these are pretty neat. And next to that, we've got some of the electricity bolts. And these are really cool because they're kind of two color pieces You've got like the gold on the top and the black on the bottom. These will be metal, I was told, in the final production. But for now, these are plastic, kind of a prototype. And I should say this is a Kickstarter preview, so this is like prototype components for some of these things. I know there are some absolutely new components to all of these. And I think this is one of those where they designed it for this box. I don't know if they're going to sell separately, but I was told that even though they're a plastic here, they're going to be metal in the final production. So if you back it, then you'll get those. Over here, we've got what I really like. These are like really cool looking crystals. I'm thinking games like Season, right, that have any kind of crystals. Maybe even Mage Knight. You know, you could use these for several crystals as well. I know they have some in there, but these have some pretty cool like shining effects and a nice cut to them. There's like several big pieces in the center that kind of jut upwards and little ones around it. It's pretty cool. I like those. Also plastic, and a very translucent type of plastic here. You can see right through them. Here, this is a pretty unique one. These are like really thick plastic pieces with a flat bottom that have kind of this gray and brownish color. And I was talking to Chad about it, and he said these could really be useful for like smoke effects or you know, clouds and things like that, cloud resource. I was thinking about both Firepoint, or not Flashpoint again, but also like the Batman Gotham City Chronicles, where there's smoke effects. You could drop these on there for some smoke, which is pretty neat. These are pretty big. These feel like, I mean, like a rock that you would just pick up, right? Like it's pretty hefty. These are like a nice solid piece to them. And they do have that kind of unique, like round texture around them. So it's pretty cool. You could use them, I think, very flexibly. And then the last bin over here, we've got a series of like nuclear explosions. And I was also told that they will have some different art and paint going on for these. But for now, this is kind of what the model looks like. So these are, I don't know, like 1.5 inches tall or so. Also really chunky, pretty heavy plastic here. Those would look really nice blowing stuff up on the table. I think we played this game called Tomorrow that uses a lot of nukes, or maybe Pandemic, or anything that you might play that has a nuclear arsenal and weapons. Dropping these on the table, those look really nice. It's pretty cool, and they are weighty. So that's what's in Elemental Essentials. The last box of goodies is called Cataclysmic Compendium, and this is volume 4, and here, Top Shelf Gamer. So kind of also looks like a book that you would just pull right off the shelf. It's really nice. It just looks really cool. And any of these, you know, you can just pull right out and everyone's gonna be like, whoa, what's in that? Is that a game? No, it's gonna be components for our game. And you can mix and match if you have these. Obviously, you can say, well, this game's gonna use 3 of these, 1 of those, and 2 of these. So it's just, instead of having to keep buying sets of tokens over and over for each game specifically, you can just pull these right out, and it's just kind of a nice, easy way to do that, maybe on the cheap overall in the long run. So in here, Cataclysmic Compendium. All right, up first we've got these like nuclear waste barrels. So they've got a nice green paint color to them, and then the nuclear waste kind of symbol painted onto them. And even on the very top, they've got the little painted hole type of thing where you would get to puncture the barrel open. And these have that 2 rings in the middle and kind of a nice, it just looks like a barrel. And these are pretty cool. These are pretty hefty. It almost feels like metal just because of the weight, but I think it's just really heavy plastic. Really cool. And these are pretty cool. These are like those blacksmith type hammers, like little old school tools. And these are plastic. But I think the coolest thing of these is that they are they look like what they are, you know, like it replicates that hammer. So anything that you would need for building resource or for just a tool, anything that says tools, this would be a great resource for tools. Again, Stone Age comes to mind of like getting tools that you would have. And you can just collect these instead of the tiles that you collect in the game. But that's nice. These are also really like lightweight, I would say. Not so much heavy, just probably because of the design of them. Over here, we've got gears. So anything that you would want a gear, you know, these are pretty cool. You could use it for broken or for repaired things. This reminds me again of the stuff that you would find in the Nemesis game. Whereas though in Nemesis, those gears are actually kind of broken. These are a complete rounded, you know, full gear. So get creative. I'm not sure, but it looks really nice. And these are really cool. I feel like these are also new for Top Shelf Gamer in general. These are like piles of skeleton bones. I mean, just look at that. Like, they've got a skull, they've got the rib cage going on, and then an assortment of femurs and bones around it. And, you know, you could drop them in. I was recently playing the Goonies game, which is the Goonies Never Say Die. And instead of using the, what do you call them, like just the cardboard, like there are like piles of bones in that game. And you could totally use this to make it like way more like immersive as you play, it's a great game if you haven't played it. Right here in the middle at the top, we've got bullets. So bullets and shells here. You got the casing and the bullet at the top. And these are painted like kind of the gold at the bottom and silver for the bullet piece. These are also pretty thick and also pretty heavy. And of course, with the flat bottom, they'll stand upright just like they would if they were a real bullet. I would say I've used these before with, what's that game, Outlive. If you've played that, that's a nice apocalypse type of game. And you could use these for your ammunition for sure. And all right, here. Now these actually, wow, these are heavier than I would thought they would be. These are like really thick plastic with, it's like, you know, gasoline tokens. So anything with fuel or gas, this thing would be great to use or sub in for. They've got X's kind of indented in on both sides of this gasoline. And they are really, really cool. Like, they look like a can of gas. It's pretty neat. And they do have a weight to them. They feel good to hold, and you could stand them upright. They've got flat bottoms there, so they could stand. So if you want to do that, totally can. So there you go. So each of these boxes has 6 types of tokens that go with them that has, you know, a following of a theme here. So that's the 4 that I'm aware of that are with this particular Kickstarter for Top Shelf Gamer. And I use a lot of their tokens all the time, so I think it's really cool to have them for just pulling right off the shelf. What I want to do is probably put together a list of like every game that I own that like uses every piece, and then flip to it, bam, just pull out, you know, treasure chest, you know, volume 1 or whatever, get these, get those, and then, you know, go forward that way. But yeah, that's what's in. I hope you guys like that, and let me know what you thought in the comments. And if you want to get your hands on one of these boxes or the whole set, check Kickstarter. It's going on in October. I'm not entirely sure the dates, but it's an October Kickstarter for Top Shelf Gamer. I believe each box is $50 a piece, and there might be a set, you know, discount or something like that. And I was told there might even be like a case that holds all 4 of them together. So they'll come together in like, you know, a big case. So we'll see. Stay tuned for that. And thanks for watching this unboxing Kickstarter preview for the Top Shelf Gamer Kickstarter games, or Kickstarter components. Blah. Great. Again, I've been Jared. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.